Best. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the new record.
Okay.
The last album was very, like, sort of a high-tech thing. This thing is much more guitar conscious. Was that something you consciously wanted?
Yeah, I learned it from the audiences on the last tour. I'd be playing to them, and like every time I'd do something like really simple and direct, like I Want to Be Your Dog or something, I could see people going, whoa, and so I'm going, there's possibilities here, and maybe I could resurrect this whole, you know, this whole Iggy Stooge monster. So I got a bunch of guys and just put them in a room and did it, you know.
Wow. How'd you get together with Laswell?
It was David Bowie's idea. He said,
really?
He said there's a great guy in New York that I think could get a really good, clear sound for your raw music, because David knew I wanted to make a really raw record, you know. So that was how. And then I just met him, and I liked the guy.
Yeah.
He's real, you know. He's not a company man or nothing. He's a bit of a maverick, and you know, he doesn't, like, when you meet him for the first few months, he never smiles or anything. But it's great because, you know, later you get to know him, and he's cool. He's cool.
Who else is playing on the record?
It's Steve Jones on guitar and Paul Garisto on drums. Paul used to be in the Furs, Psychedelic Furs. And Lee Fox on bass also did the new Debbie Harry record, and used to be in the Sidewinders out of Boston.
Sidewinders.
He's like New Jersey, Meatloaf, you know, Chevrolet kind of guy. You know, like, you know, I come out to the house, you know, I'm some Meatloaf, you know. Polish. He's Polish, you know. He's a bass player. And Seamus Bagan, the Irish keyboard player with the shaved head that I had on my last tour, was the final member. And when we played, when we did the record, I mean, everybody actually stood in the same place and played their instrument all at once. And then we cleaned it up a little later. But there was always really something happening live.
This is the high point of Steve Jones' career, finally getting together with you. And
I was really happy to finally do a record with him all the way through. And he was like, it was funny to see him in New York for 3 weeks without his motorcycle. Because he left it here, because we're in LA, right, you know. So he demanded a first-class ticket, which I thought was pretty...
Times have changed.
I know, I gave him one. I don't fly first class, but I gave it to him because he's a first-class guitar player, so... Well, all right. There you go.
That's good. Have you heard all the like versions of Stooges songs that are around? I mean, especially I Want to Be Your Dog, Joan Jett covers it. Bowie's doing it. They did it live last tour. I mean, are you proud to see that stuff happening?
You betcha. And I'm real proud when like a garage band plays them too. You know, like if I go like to Seattle and I go to somebody's house at 3 in the morning and they're playing the song, that's really good.
Yeah. Have you heard, did they approach you about the stuff that Elektra's putting out, the CD versions of the Stooges thing?
No, they didn't ask me, but I'm really happy about it. And it's to see the original covers the way they're supposed to be, and I'm just happy for the other Stooges too, because it's the only recorded work on the Ashton Brothers nationally. And those guys are good, and so it's a chance for people to see what they can do.
Are you in touch with guys like Rob Tyner and stuff? And he's got a band together again, and they're back.
No, I don't see Tyner. I did a tour with Fred Smith once, about 10 or 11 years ago, but I haven't had much reason to kind of check the Detroit scene, except for, I talked to John Sinclair the other day, because he was involved with a company that did my album cover.
Wow.
He's still around,
Tell us about getting together with Sam Raimi for this video. This is going to be really exciting, I think.
Well, I saw his movies. I saw Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and I just flipped out, because to me, that's like the natural pace at which I just think. You know, just everything's so fast, and like the guy's cutting his arm off, and then his arm keeps attacking him, and he's choking himself, and he's gouging his own eyes out, and I just loved it. I loved it, and I loved the little things, the little touches that, like when somebody's head gets chopped off, instead of just seeing the head, they would close up like on the light bulb on the ceiling, and you see the blood splatter on the light bulb. And I thought, this is great. You know, this guy it's like poetry. And I just really like him. So I met him. He writes with his brother Ivan, who is an MD from Youngstown, Ohio, and he takes breaks. He's in residence in Youngstown at this hospital. He takes breaks from sewing people up to come out here and write these movies about ripping them apart, which is really great. So they're a good writing team, and so far every idea we've had is totally unfeasible and we can't film it. But, you know, we're in there trying. We're going to keep at it.
What's the concept behind the video?
Well, it's just... We were going to have me get run over by a giant truck and flatten my body and my mouth would still sing. Like, the idea was, you can't stop this guy. You know, because, I mean, let's face it, look how long I've been around. I mean, you know, and I'm still here and I'm still playing I Want to Be Your Dog, right? You know, so that was our basic idea, the unstoppable Iggy Pop. And, but apparently we can't afford to flatten me, and then we were going to have me fly like over an airplane, and we were going to have a little kid point up in the sky and go, "Hey Mom, I want to be a rock star like that guy." And we had ideas like that. And we were going to have me lift a giant girder, and then we were going to put a disclaimer: "Kids, do not attempt this at home," you know, and stuff like that. And I wanted my head to explode, and you know, various things, but that's out the window. So the producers were just here, like saying, listen, we think we should have a meeting without you. So they're going to have another meeting, and I think the new concept may be to put me in a cage.
Okay, good.
That's as far as we've got. The art world.
Well, it's been a long time since the Stooges. Have you changed a lot? Well, you have changed a lot. In what ways?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's funny. I'm still the same height, and I'm about the same weight, and I'm recognizable. Like, if you knew me then and I walked down the street now, you'd still say, "Oh, that's Iggy." Same name, and the songs are similar, but the difference was in the Stooges, what we were doing, for one thing, what we were doing was kind of, it was really alienated from society, and I think we scared a lot of people, and people were scared of us, and we were scared of other people. So in the Stooges, we didn't really interact in the world, whereas now I'm kind of out in the world interacting. Yeah. That's the big difference. Whereas in the Stooges, it was always, a lot of it was about hide under the sheets. Yeah. It was very gothic existence we led, except on stage. But otherwise, we sort of hid out from the world. Yeah. Whereas now I'm kind of more in sync, which is, it's okay.
You've been through every possible thing now. Yeah. Now you don't even smoke. I mean, what's going on here?
I know. I'm
just
totally,
the 80s or what?
It ain't the 80s. It's just the thing of I want to be able to do the songs good. Yeah. And I want to be able to, like, I want to be able to be coherent for more than 30 minutes on stage, because there's just, I guess it's the 80s. Yeah, there's all this stuff you got to do. Like, you got to meet with this one and talk to that one, and like, if I was too stoned right now, I might get electrocuted or something. I might touch the wrong thing, or, you know, and then all the work would be for nothing. So, yeah, you know, I'm straight. But I still think stoned thoughts.
Did you ever actually meet
I still have a stoned attitude. I'm sorry.
Did you ever actually meet Jim Morrison?
No.
Oh, wow.
I would have been too shy to meet. He was a big, sort of a, I'm very shy about meeting my heroes. I kind of, when I meet them, I put my head down and kind of take quick glances, like, you know, like that. I guess I'm told he might have seen us play once, the Stooges.
Really?
I don't know.
Wow.
But I sure did listen to him.
What kind of stuff fed the Stooges music? I mean, what inspired that?
I think humor was a lot of it. We saw, like, we would see the humor in our own situation. We would see how totally, we could see that we were pretty inept in a lot of ways, like that we weren't exactly together guys. And we could see the humor in a lot of the poses of the people, like in the 60s, there would be some that would pretend to be gurus. And you could see this, like, you know, some guy from India sitting picking his toes. And basically, he just wants to screw young girls, you know. But he has the flowers and everything, and like, you know, come to my ashram, you know, so I can sneak in your room and take your money and take your girl. And I think we used to see the joke in politics. We used to see a joke in everything. Yeah. I think that was a lot of it. And the other part was probably grass. I think grass had a lot to do with it, you know. And then other than that, just I think it was a combination of we liked the British rock, the Stooges liked the British pop stars, and they all wanted to be pop stars, and I liked the blues, and I wanted to be like a bluesman poet, you know, and so, but none of us could play, really, so we put it together and came out with the Stooges. It was like, you know, as if like if the Rolling Stones couldn't play, they would have sounded like the Stooges.
Well put.
Right.
How do you look back now upon the stuff with Bowie, the Idiot, and Lust for Life? I mean, does that stand up for you?
I think a Lust for Life and Idiot, it really stands up, yeah, and Blah 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 too. I think that when I work with him, he has a really good sense of form and clarity in his writing that works for some people. Who wouldn't really be able to grasp the beauty of something like Death Trip on the Raw Power album. But then there's other people for whom the instinctive momentum of the Stooges, the earth-shattering quality, is more attractive than what I did with David. I like them both. Yeah. And on this album, what I tried to do was get a kind of mixture, kind of a marriage. You know? Somebody
told me that like last year, when you and David were out here, you like spend time playing pool. I mean, what do you guys do when you hang out together?
Well, I don't know, watch TV, play pool, you know, I don't know, read a book, or like he'll, you know, maybe go to the ballet, or go, go swimming, or go see a band, you know, just what everybody else does, I think.
Boy.
I think that's what everybody does, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just doing that earlier today.
I think so, yeah.
Is it hard to get people that sympathize, like record company people that sympathize with what you're trying to do, like lyrically and musically, still?
Well, yeah, it would be difficult, but what I try to do now is just keep everybody away and give the finished product. Yeah. And I must say, I'm with the record company I'm with. They're pretty intelligent. They're a lot better than the rest, I reckon. And I had a good chance when I did Blah Blah Blah. That was an independent production that I did together with David, and it was done already before I got a company. So I went around and met them, and you could tell. I mean, they're not all the same. You could tell which ones were real and which ones were better. And I just sort of, basically, it was like, hey, try before you buy, you know. And so I got to know them, so I'm pretty comfortable there.
Yeah. What songs on the new record are you like proudest of?
Boy, I like Cold Metal. I like Instinct a lot. My particular favorite is a song called Squarehead. That's my own personal favorite.
What is the message of that song?
I ain't gonna be no squarehead.
Well, okay, that's a message people should hear.
That's right.
Do you get a lot of kids still coming up to you and saying, you know, they idolize the Stooges and they just want to get, you know, fucked up every night and bang their head against the wall and say, thanks, you turned us on to this?
Yeah.
Do you have a message for them at all?
Or? Yeah, do it. That's right. I still do it.
Well.
No, but I mean, you know, I bang and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have some generic questions here? What are they? We have some things that we're trying to cut together.
Sure. The one question before we get to that was your vision of what the 90s will be like.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Total burnout.
Is that one of our new generic ones?
Meltdown.
Okay. Okay, some of these are, this is good. What features do you look for in a woman? Like, do you look at the eyes first, the legs?
No. It's really, check the ankles, wrists, and the hands. And after that, the teeth. And a lot of guys in America, they're so hung up on the T and A, and they just say, oh, she's got big knockers, but that's not where it's at. If the hands are of fine manufacture and good proportion, and the ankles are slim, and the teeth are good, the gums are pink, you got a winner. It's true. See, the guy goes, it's true, yeah.
Hang on, is it too high if I turn on?
No, I like it. And I also, in personality, I look for modesty. Yeah. Ones that aren't so, you know, strident and sort of cynical. I look for somebody that's just innocent and sweet and decent.
Yeah. And you found one. That's good. What do you think? What comes to mind when you think of summer? What's your fondest summer memory?
It would be convertible car, loud music.
Yeah, right. That sums it up.
Loud music and kind of lurching beat, you know, pow. you know.
Is there like one specific thing when you were earlier, like the first thing that really meant summer to you, your first girlfriend or something?
It would be when they would start the outdoor service at the drive-in again, at the A&W, you know, and they open up the outdoors and the girls would come out with the trays and, you know, you could clip them on the window of your car.
Yeah.
That was kind of, then you knew it was summer and, you know.
Have you ever had any interesting contract riders on like a tour rider when you got on tour? I have to have Jell-O every night or something or anything like that?
I haven't had lately, no, but I mean, I'd take suggestions if you could think anything, you know.
God.
Have you heard of any other people who you know who had crazy contract riders like that, who had anything really interesting?
Well, I used to have just like an ambulance and a nurse all the time, but that was, I don't need it anymore, so I'm all right. I can't think anything right now, no.
Is there one particular thing about television you think is most offensive? We're trying to get people to comment on this. Or one particular person, perhaps?
I think the most offensive thing about TV is the people who watch it.
But you watch TV, right?
I do, but I only, very selectively, not many hours. I go for like months without it, and then I'll jump in. But, I mean, I've never watched The Cosby Show or anything. I would never do that to myself.
Good for you, all right.
I would never, ever do that. And I think you can see the people that watch those things on a regular basis, I think it lowers their expectations of themselves, and I think it lowers their ability to imagine.
Yeah,
I think it robs you of possibilities.
Yeah. Are you going to be touring soon, or do you know when you're going to tour?
You betcha. I'm going to start in about July 8th out here on the west, and then I'm going to go east really quick. Then I'm going to go to South America, then Canada, then Europe, then back to the States for a major tour, September, October, then back to Europe for the rest of the year, and then Japan and Australia and Bangkok and that in the new year.
Who's going to be in the band, do you know yet?
Yeah. Andy McCoy, he's this killer guitarist. He used to be in the Hanoi Rocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Andy's just he's like plays like the devil, and he'll be doing the whole thing. And Steve Jones will join us for the fall tour in America. The both of them, and then Seamus, the shaved head guy from my last band, will be with us. Paul Garisto will play drums on the album, and I haven't got a bass player yet.
What can people expect when they come to these shows?
It's going to be just really what?
I think that says it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
The open for the Week in Rock.
I just want
Okay.
Say, coming up next. Hi, I'm Iggy Pop.
Okay.
Coming up next, but you can put a little twist on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Iggy Pop. Relaxing out.
Okay.
Coming up next is the Week.
Okay. Hi, I'm Iggy Pop. Coming up next, the Week in Rock. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. Great, that was fun.
Jede Popgeneration hat